Hello, my name is Kyle Power, and this is my presentation for MPA 580 on ethical theories. This slide will review some ethical theories and the theorists throughout history, beginning with St. Thomas Aquinas and natural law. St. Thomas Aquinas believed that, and in his theory of natural law, believes that God has designed the intuition of humans and the human desire to do good. That the foundation of doing good and being moral and ethical lies in God's will to build that into mankind. One of the parts of natural law that he theorizes is the basic goods, or the 7 basic goods of moral principles that are intuitive to humans in fulfilling their desires and fulfilling their lives, which I thought was very reminiscent of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Next is Immanuel Kant, and he's known for categorical imperatives, which believes that the moral obligations are actually in contrast to St. Thomas Aquinas and in contrast to divine command theory, which is based on religion. Immanuel Kant believes that not all decisions or actions are moral decisions or actions, but those that are moral or ethical decisions or actions are decided from pure reason and intuition rather than religion. Basically, people know right from wrong, and this is based on their intellect and their just foundation of knowledge of what is right and what is wrong. Next is Thomas Hobbes and contractarianism, which is the belief that moral and ethical actions are in society and through humankind are through cooperating with others, and that these social contracts between individuals, people do well or people do good ethically in their actions and their behaviors, to uphold their own integrity and their own, well-being, and that through defection, which would be breaking these social contracts, would suffer the consequences of losing that trust and losing whether it's workplace or friends or family, these moral obligations that we have with each other that are not based on the Bible, or they're not based in God or rooted in God, or in other ways, are just based on a level between individuals and society. Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill are other theorists that are known for utilitarianism, which is a theory that focuses on the outcomes of an action or of a decision, and those actions or those ends are what justify the means. And by that, in the simplest way that it's been described, is creating the greatest outcome for the greatest amount of people, or the greater good, in whatever that decision is or action is. Ethics is something like integrity is the number one thing that the public expects from public administrators and public service workers. The theories that resonate the most with my experience and with my position with the Los Angeles County Fire Department, I see that the two theories that closely I can identify with are the utilitarianism and virtue theory. Utilitarianism based on policy making and decision making for making changes within the department that affect personnel, that may affect the public, or even as my role as a president of the union when I'm negotiating a contract for hours, wages, and working conditions. We're looking at maximizing our utility, maximizing the greater benefit for the most amount of people. And although it may not satisfy one person's individual needs, it will ideally cover the majority of people that would be affected. And then virtue theory as well would be something that I identify with in my workplace. This theory emphasizes an individual's character and the virtuous person that has that desire to strive for everything that they can and taking opportunity. Typically, these are going to be the people that are leading an organization, I would think, or leading in my organization, that are virtuous and doing the right thing and being tactful and doing the right thing. In the theory of the virtue theory, one of the things that resonates too is the golden mean of doing the right thing. Although someone may have the intention of doing the right thing, it's the tact and the skill set that makes it the golden mean of doing the things in a right manner. In public safety and emergency situations, whether it's a drug overdose or a medical scenario with a patient, someone that is virtuous is going to be calm, cool, collected, and kind of have a command presence that leads the rest of the personnel to be comfortable in that scenario and perform at a high level, where having courage to do that kind of leads to a successful outcome, regardless of whether a person lives or not. Because in public safety, if you do a good job and you do the right thing, you can only do your best to help that individual, help that person. So on the previous slide, I spoke about virtue theory as being something that I identify with being relevant in public administration and in public safety specifically. This theory is apparent to public administrators and to for those that are continuing to strive for excellence and take on challenges that may be a little bit intimidating, and having the courage to possibly fail, but learn from those mistakes and show character by growing and being a life learner and giving back to the community through their efforts as being a climber in an organization and doing as much as they can for the public and for the people that they work with, and being a leader in the organization. That is the conclusion of my presentation on ethical theory and theories that we've covered. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.